Aren't they gorgeous? Aren't they gorgeous? Good morning and welcome to Kirsty Knits and Sews. My name is Kirsty and this is my podcast where I talk about all things knitting, and today I've also got crochet and yarn dyeing and sewing. So it's a bit of everything today. I've been an all-rounder. To use a cricket term, I don't like cricket. No cricket here, sorry to say that. Alright, moving on. I live in Rzeszów in Poland with my husband and 2 kids. And this is where I just share what I've been working on, what I'm up to. So let's dive in. Oh, you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Kirsty Knits and Sews, same as here on YouTube. Alright, I have 5/6 finished objects to show you or to share with you today. Then I'm going to talk about some whips, which are 2 knitting, 1 crochet and 1 spinning. I'll talk about the new things that I've received since the last podcast, and then I will talk a little bit about other things that are going on. However, a little, not spoiler, maybe spoiler, a little note, I am going to be going away for a bit, so the next podcast will not come out until May. However, that means that there is a bonus video up already, which is about planning my travel knits. So if you haven't checked that out, go check it out. I'm traveling for 3 weeks to 2 different places, and I have the opportunity to take things to one place that I don't take to the other, but I'm not coming home in between. It's complicated, but it means that I had a lot of planning and thinking about what I could and could not do in that time. So go check out that video and see what my next cast-ons are going to be. I'm not going to show you the yarn and what I've picked in this video, so go check out that video. And obviously the next episode in May, I will have hopefully all of those things cast on and some of them finished. So I will share them with you then. Alright, so let's jump into finished objects. If you haven't already recognised it, I am wearing one of them. This is the Comfy and Cozy Pullover by Renya of Comfort Zone Knits. It is so comfy. Alright, let me see if I can stand back here so you can kind of get a view of it. Alright, that was a little view of the sweater. It is really comfortable. Fit-wise is brilliant. I did size 2, but my gauge was a little bit off. So I did size 2 knowing that it would end up closer to size 3, which was, size 3 was my perfect size in terms of ease, recommended ease. But because my gauge was slightly bigger, I did the size 2, which would land closer to a size 3. And so I did that size 2 for all stitches across, and I did size 3 for all length measurements. I did the arms a little shorter in the pattern. They are long and cozy and comfy, but I wanted this to be more of a shirt that I could wear with a singlet top underneath. You can see I've got one. I have ordered some white ones so that I'm not always wearing dark singlet tops underneath. But yeah, I wanted it to be more of a shirt that I could wear in spring rather than a jumper. And that's why I did the shorter sleeves, because I just felt I was going to be pulling them up anyway, so just making them shorter. And I'm so happy with the length. So I just followed, excuse me, I followed the instructions for decreases the whole way down. And then when I got to the length that I wanted, I did the ribbing, and it worked out perfectly. I was also off. My row gauge was off, and so when I did the measurements that it said, I did it according to my row gauge that I knew I would get, not according to what it was before I blocked it, because I knew that when I blocked it, it would shrink up a little bit. And it definitely did. I don't think the body shrunk up as much as I was expecting, but I also think that every time I wash it, for the first 2 or 3 times, the fabric of this is going to change. And the reason I say that, this is Holstgarn Super Soft. It is 100% wool. It's a light fingering weight. I think it's like 280 meters to 50 grams. So it's quite a lot of meterage, but when you knit it, it's very thin, and when you wash it, it blooms. This has already bloomed quite a lot, but I used the same yarn for my Shawlography mystery shawl by Stephen West, and I blocked that probably 3 or 4 times before I actually liked the fabric that it made. I now love it and I wear the shawl all the time. This one I've only blocked the once. I will wear it a few times and block it again, and I expect that the fabric will get softer and bloom more with every blocking, with every washing. I am not going to do that now. I'm going on a trip, like I said, in a week or so. So I'm not going to do that before I go, unless I get grease things on it. I have kids, that's always possible, but I'm planning to take this with me on that trip. Yeah, what else do I have to say? The pattern is not out yet. This is a test knit. That's helpful to know. The pattern is not out yet. It is size inclusive and it should be out sometime in April, but I'm not sure when. It is also a stripy sweater, and the stripes do not match what I've done here with the 2 darker stripes. I did that because I had some leftovers that I wanted to use up, but the actual pattern does not have that. And if I didn't do that, I probably would have had enough of just this colour to do the entire one in cream, which I would actually be tempted to make another one that didn't have stripes and was just one colour. Like, it is just a nice comfy and cozy pullover. It suits the name. Yeah, so the stripes in the pattern is written for 4 colours. And so rather than following do this much and then change colour, I just went to the last colour, which had knit until this far from hem, and then move on to the next stage. And so that's what I did for all of it. And I just did 1 colour. And like I said, I really love it. I like this colour. I don't really have any pale tops. Yeah, so it's really nice to have a neutral kind of top in a colour that actually works for me. Most tops are either white or sometimes an off-white or a cream, which I can get away with, but they're just very stark. I have very pale skin, and this one, I don't know, I really like the look. So I'm really excited with this one, and when it is released, I will for sure tell you, which I expect I will tell you in the May episode. I should also say, I think Renya is planning to release it as a free pattern. So if you're looking to try a drop shoulder top, you can see it's drop shoulder because the shoulder comes down, and it has lots of positive ease for that reason. If you're planning to try a drop shoulder top, I can recommend this one. It is bottom up, so it's harder to adjust the length, but you can also tell from the pattern how long the top will be. So if you know what length you like, you can adjust that as you go. Alright, my next finished object did not take anywhere near as long. I should say this one, I should tell you, this one I started it on the 22nd of Feb and I finished it on the 30th of March for a fingering weight drop shoulder. That's pretty good. I didn't work on it consistently as soon as I cast it on, but I think I finished another project and then this kind of moved into the regular knit spot. And I really like it. I think I would make another one of these. I love it. Alright, my next one took way too long to finish for what it is. I started this next one on the 12th of Feb and I finished it on the 27th of March. So I did finish it 3 days before this one, but I started it 10 days earlier. 10 days. And you'll see when I show you why I think that's so ridiculous. DK socks. That's it. DK socks took longer than a fingering weight sweater. DK socks I can actually finish in a couple of days. Like they're just so quick. These ones are DK Vanilla Socks by the Crazy Sock Lady is the pattern. It is a free pattern on Ravelry, so you can go get that. All of my project pages for all of my projects will be linked below. So you can go click on that, it will take you to Ravelry, and the patterns are linked in the page. So this one will have a pattern linked in the page once it's published. These ones, it's already linked. Yeah, so DK Vanilla Socks. These are size small. It's the first time I've done a size small in DK Vanilla Socks, which means I think they're 40 stitches. Like, so quick. The yarn is by Dying Dream, and just look. Ooh, look at that. It is beautiful. I absolutely love it. It is vibrant, fun. It's got the like self-striping, micro-striping. It's not a self-striping sock, but, it's not a self-striping yarn, but when you do it in socks, it comes up with the stripes. And I just thought they were so much fun. So you can see there's a little bit of pooling around the gusset because there's more stitches, and so the yarn lies differently, but you can see that they're mirror images, which I just think is fun. Not planned, just how it happened, but I think it's fun that when you're wearing them, the blue will be on the outside and yellow on the inside, or vice versa. Alright, what else about them? I followed the pattern exactly. I haven't worn them yet. I have a feeling they're going to be a little bit snug, and I'll probably go back to doing mediums for DK socks. I'm not sure. Or maybe I just need to start doing smalls on the feet and mediums on the legs. That worked for the socks that I'm wearing at the moment that I'm not going to show you. And so I might just do that all around. Alright. Next. This one took 2 days, and it is a beanie. Why not? There we go. This is an unpublished pattern of my own. It is called the Magic Hat. I will link it below. I'll link the project page below, and in the project page it has another project page linked which has the complete notes for this pattern. Only difference is I did not knit in costume change. So it is now 2 days later. It is now Thursday the 6th of April, and I am back to record the second part of this podcast. I considered recording the whole thing again, and then I went, you know what? Why? Let's just jump in where we left off with a new outfit. I'm wearing my Polish scarf today. It has started snowing. I will put some footage in somewhere here of some snow. I thought we were just going to get a little dusting. We've had a few days of getting a little dusting. It is now a couple of inches deep. Oh boy. Yeah, so welcome back. So I was in the middle of telling you about this hat. Let me just pop it on again. Like I said, it is the Magic Beanie pattern, which is not actually a pattern. It's just a magic beanie that I made, and I call it the Magic Beanie because I made it for my son in a 2x2 rib, but it fits my son, me, my husband, and almost fits my daughter. It's slightly too big for my daughter, but my son is 4, my husband is a full-grown man, and it fits both of them. So I called it the Magic Beanie because it stretches a lot, and that way it can fit a whole lot of people. So I made this one. The difference is I did not knit the brim in. So the brim, like, it can go like that for a more pointy style, if you like that. Or you can have a smaller brim with a bit of a point. It's very flexible. I have to apologise, my dog is outside the door and she wants to get in. So if you hear some whining maybe or some scratching, that's why. But she's slightly wet because she's been out in the snow and I don't want her around my yarn right now. So I'm going to leave her there. She has toys, she has water, she's fine. So yeah, this is a beanie that I made. I made this in 2 days and it is one that I'm planning to sell. So I can't remember if I mentioned that, but I have a few things that I'm planning to sell that I've made over the last 5-6 months that haven't fit me, or I didn't have a recipient for when I made it. And part of my work conference, there's a little craft stall that people can put things into. So I decided to make this for that because it is in Zakopane, a very cold area of Poland still. I mean, we're getting snow here and it's down around 0 degrees Celsius. It'll be similar in Zakopane, maybe even more snow than this. So I thought beanies were a good option for that. Although, if it doesn't sell, I might just keep it for myself. So there you go. Now I've got hat hair. Woohoo! Oh well. That's life. Anyway, that's that hat. Also, for selling at the conference slash, good word, I'm a big Miranda fan, slash using myself, I've made some pouches. Now, some of them are plain, some of them are scrappy. These are actually the only two that I have finished, but I have another 7, 8, 9 waiting to just have the sides sewn up. Waiting to just have the sides sewn up. So we'll see how many I get done before conference. But, I realised when I'm using bags that are, this big, all the notion tins, the scissors, everything can get lost in the bag. When I'm using, I don't even have one with me because I don't have any whips this small. When I'm using a normal size project bag, normal size, look at me. When I'm making a sock or a muscle bar and I just have a small project bag, I find I have one skein of yarn and the project, the scissors and things don't need a separate bag. When I have something like this and I have multiple skeins going at once, I can find it really hard to even know if I have scissors in the bag, let alone find them if they're in there. And so I wanted to make some pouches just to keep the scissors in. It has a cute little handmade tag. Anyway, so I've made 2 so far. I really like them. So if they don't sell, I'm not going to be sad. But I have some pink ones, some like pinky, greeny, purpley, I don't even know, a whole bunch of different colours that I am in the process of making to sell. But these are the finished ones and they're so cute. Yeah, so that's why I'm making them, and I will, if by chance they all sell at this craft stall, then I will indeed make more for me because I want them. They're practical. Okay, I've spoken about the cozy comfy pullover that I'm no longer wearing. I've spoken about the DK vanilla socks, the hat, the pouches. Oh, the last thing that I finished since I saw you last time is a quillo. Now, I've mentioned it a couple of episodes back that I make quillos for my nieces and nephews as they turn 6. And one of my nieces is turning 6 in a few days. Happy birthday, Papa! So I made her a quillo, and I will put some footage in here because it's already on its way to Australia. It hasn't arrived yet. I hope that it arrives soon, but this is what the quillo looks like. So I thought I would show you this finished object before I ship it out tomorrow. This is a quillo that I have made for my niece who lives in Australia. It is her 6th birthday, and for her older brother I started making quillos for 6th birthday presents for my nieces and nephews. So this is hers. What I've done is a scrappy quilt based on, hang on a second, based on the cover quilt of this book, Sunday Morning Quilts by Amanda Jean Nyberg and Cheryl Arkeson. Yeah, so in that one they did kind of the whole thing one colour. I did the stripes in separate colours to make the most of my scraps, and I love it. I love that there are little peaks, like you've got Belle and Snow White, Cinderella, Rapunzel, can't remember her name, Sully and Mike, Olaf, some pugs. Where is it? The tiny little kitten. Just all sorts of little things. So it's kind of an I Spy quilt, but it's just using up whatever scraps I have. Socks. And I love it. So basically what it is, it's not a traditional quilt. I have backed it with flannel, and you can see here, there is a pocket. And what it does is it actually folds up to turn into a pillow. That's the word quillo, quilt and pillow. So I'm going to fold it up and then I will show you what it looks like folded up. Ta-da! It is folded in. So the whole quilt is inside. This is the back of the pillow, the front of the pillow. And there you go. That's it. This is not that difficult. It is a little bit more thinking than just a traditional quilt. But I had one, my grandma gave me one when I was a baby, when I was a child. I don't know how old. And I loved it. And just being able to fold it into a pillow made it so much more exciting than a normal quilt. And also the bonus is that when it is a blanket, you can put your feet into the pouch and it just is so much more cozy. So I did do flannel on the inside, on the back of it to make it a little bit more cozy. And also I did that with her brother's one. So this is my second of two for my nieces and nephews. No, sorry, my fourth of five. Second of three for this family. And I'm gonna ship this off tomorrow. And that is all my finishes. I see it like it's a small thing. If you count the pouches as two things, that's 6 finishes in the last 2 weeks. Because I recorded, 1.5, 2, however you want to call it. That's pretty good. Yes, 2 of them are sewing. Sewing is usually quicker than knitting. Usually. Not always. Quilts, not always. Anyway, crafting. I've enjoyed my crafting recently. I have also done some dyeing, which I guess is kind of a finish. I'll show you now. Oh my goodness, I had so much fun. So again, I've been dyeing yarn for this craft stall, and it's in Zakopane. So I dyed this colourway. These are all minis. You can see it's a small skein. It's a mini. I'm sorry if you can hear my dog. These are designed for. This is because I was dyeing full skeins to sell, but I wanted to keep some of each colourway because I don't keep recipes. They're not really repeatable. I kind of remember what I did, but they're not really. And so I wanted to have a little bit of everyone to keep for myself if the other ones sell. If they don't sell, I will use them, and that's fun. Anyway, so this colourway is Zakopane. The white's getting a little blown out there, but basically Zakopane is a mountain ski resort mountain town. So you have all of the evergreen trees and this beautiful clear blue sky, but then white snowy mountains. And so when you lay it out, you have the 3 in a row. Yeah. Oh. That's better. That's not getting blown out much. Yeah, so that is my Zakopane colourway. I kind of would love to keep one of these for socks, but we'll see. Then I have Aurora Borealis. This was just an experiment. I knew I wanted a teal base with some kind of speckles, and man, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Then I didn't actually dye a full skein of this. This was just using up some leftover dye. So it's quite a pale blue with just a few little streaks of pink. And this one is only 10 gram mini, which was matching some full skeins. These ones though, guys, there is one full skein that I didn't dye mini to match, and I'm sad about that. But these ones are the other full skeins that I dyed minis to match. Aren't they gorgeous? Aren't they gorgeous? So this is, I dyed as a fade set. And I just love them. It was so exciting. Like, just see some of the, I'm just going to focus for you. Some of the colours, and I'm just getting blown out. There we go. It's just stunning. So yeah, I just had so much fun dyeing these, making them up. Again, I mean, these are not my colours, but if I don't sell them, I have some ideas of what to make with them. Love them. So yeah, that was another finish that I had, if you can call dyeing yarn a finish, since it's also kind of a start. Alright, so let's jump into whips. I have 4 whips to show you, 2 knitting, 1 crochet and 1 spinning. So let's go. The knitting one, I think I showed you last time. I can't actually remember when I started it, but I did start the actual project on the 4th of September, but I've been doing kind of a 30 minutes of knitting, 45 minutes of knitting every morning. While I listen to the Bible, I pull out some knitting and I knit. And this has been what I've been working on then. It is a chart, which means it's not something that's easy to knit little bits of while I'm with the kids. And I could do it at night, but some nights I'm just so tired that it's not a great idea. But I'm finding in the morning having something that's just a little bit more of a focus while I listen to the Bible is actually helping a lot. And this is what it is. It is my 3-season cardigan. Now, what I've got here, I have a finished back. I love it. Like, I love, 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 love the lace pattern, all the cables. It is stunning. It is a drop shoulder cardigan, which means once it's blocked, all of the lace basically will form the top of the sleeve, and this part will be the actual body of the cardigan. With this size on me, I should say there's quite a bit of positive ease written into the pattern, and depending on how much positive ease you choose will depend on where the lace actually sits. But on me in this size, I expect the lace will form the top of the sleeve, like in its entirety. Maybe a little bit of the rest of the pattern will too. But I've also started the front. So this part here, that is one side of the front. And I have stopped increasing now. Let's see if I can do this. I mean, you can see I like this colour. There. So that's the top. This is one side of the front. I've stopped increasing, and yeah, absolutely loving it. I have to now figure out exactly how much more I need to do for the front, because you can see holding it up, I am almost at the point where I started the ribbing on the back. But I need to count rows and make sure that I'm going to stop at the right point. And then I can start the other side. And from that point, I presume, I don't know, I'm not sure whether I pick up the button band first or whether I will do the sleeves first. The sleeves, I'm pretty sure, are an all over lace. Anyway, I'm really excited to make progress on this because it sat there for so long without being touched at all. I will tell you, I'm doing it on Addy. Don't even know what they're called. Addy Premium needles. Sorry about the glare there. I am using, I believe, 5mm. Yeah, I'm using 5mm for the pattern and 4.5mm for the ribbing. But the ribbing, I'm using my Mindfulness interchangeables for, because I didn't have an Addy in a 4.5mm. I don't have any fixed length 4.5mm needles that I know of. None. So there you go. I'm pretty sure, I'm just seeing if I can find out, I'm pretty sure 5mm is not the recommended needle. I have a feeling it's a 5.5. It actually has 3 needles as recommended, so let me just double check. Size 8. Size 8, US size 8, which is, you probably know, I don't know. I use millimeters, not US size. Oh my goodness, US size 8, 5mm. Okay, there you go. I am using the recommended needle size. I'm not sure why there are bigger needle sizes in the pattern. I'm sure I'll figure that out at some point. I'm using the recommended needle size. Who knew? So I'm loving how that's coming out. I'm really excited to have a cardigan that I can kind of wear over dresses and things because it will be quite cropped. And it is a drop shoulder, which is apparently what I'm wanting to knit now. Whether or not I like wearing them is yet to be seen, because that's all in my queue, and only the one that I was wearing at the beginning of this episode, which I really, really liked wearing. So that's a good start. Okay, so that's my 3-season cardigan. In a bag I made myself. I should say there is a tutorial linked below for a project bag. Yes, to make a project bag. Which the tutorial is not for this size, but I have notes in the tutorial about how to make one in a different size. Yay! Alright, my second whip is another knitting pattern. It is another long-term whip. So the 3-season cardigan is my oldest whip. If not oldest, second oldest. Second oldest whip. Whip means work in progress, in case you don't know. Okay, 3-season cardigan is my second oldest whip. My oldest whip, my third oldest whip, sorry, is this one. Oh. Let's get untangled at the bottom. I love this. This is the Tri-Gradient Shawl by Stephen West. It has some garter sections and some brioche sections. So it's not an entirely brioche shawl, but it's enough you get a really great design and pattern and 2 sides. So you have a brighter side or a darker side, depending on your preference. This is for my husband. I made one in the exact same yarn and colours for his brother, and when it was finished my husband said, "Oh, could you make me one of them?" And he doesn't say that often, and so I am. Or at least he might suggest something a bit, but then he kind of forgets about it. This one he didn't forget about. He's like, "Is that ready? Are you still working on it?" So I started it before winter hit, full winter, and I still haven't finished it because it is a lot of the same. But it still uses 2 colours and it is brioche, and so it's not an easy to put down in the middle of the row one, but it is a very simple knit. So I've been doing this in the evenings when I kind of don't have the brain power to think, but I also don't have to deal with getting up all the time to do things. Yeah, I really am enjoying how this is turning out. I am doing 3.5mm needles. I started with a 60cm set and I moved up to an 80cm because it was just getting a little bit bunchy on the needles. And it will grow quite a bit more again. This is still the first ball of the 100g. I have started the second ball of the 50g. So I'm probably maybe 60% through. Still got quite a ways to go. Sorry. That's not right. 25, I'm probably about 30% of the way through. I still have another full 100g of each colour to go. Yeah. It is, like I said, Tri-Gradient Shawl by Stephen West. I believe I'm using the recommended needle sizes. And again, I'm using Addi Premiums. These are the first I have to say, good needles, nice needles, expensive needles that I really tried and I love them. They are, I believe, aluminium tips. I believe. And I just find them extra light, super comfortable. They do have a twist in the cable, which I don't actually mind most of the time. And they do sometimes have a bit of a jig here. So I've stopped buying them because sometimes the jig gets really annoying. But the ones that I have, I keep using for certain projects like brioche, and particularly with this yarn, which sometimes can be prone to splitting. I really like having a slightly duller end, and these work really nicely. Yeah. And again, another project bag that I made. Daniela Drescher fabric for both of these project bags. I love her. You can buy her fabric from Acufactum in Germany. I looked that up after the last episode. So the little gnomes and hedgehogs, as well as the mice. And I'm planning to make myself a new project bag before holiday, which I started ironing fabric for yesterday. And that will be another Danielle Drescher fabric. So sweet. Alright, so the Tray Gradient shawl I started on the 13th of November. I believe it was after I finished my shawlography shawl. But I kind of can't believe I finished my twist and turn shawl that early in the year. Maybe I did. Alright, my next one, which I have shown you before, and I said I wouldn't do every time unless I made significant progress on it, and I kind of have, is my Rainbow Ripple blanket, which is not Rainbow, it is green and blue. I have done quite a bit. So I think last time I was somewhere down here in the green. I finished the green, done blue and the white, and I've just started, you can see over here, on the green again. I just realised I'm holding up the side with all of the yucky ends. Let me show you the right side. This is a free pattern on Ravelry. I recommend it. I've made so many of these as baby blankets. This is 100% acrylic wool. It is Baby Soft, Lion Brand, 100%. Oh no, 60% acrylic, 60% 40% nylon. There you go, 60-40. And then the pink one is no name, didn't come with a skein. This is yarn that was given to me, and I was like, I don't generally use acrylic except for baby blankets. So here it is. Or I do use acrylic in scrappy projects, and sometimes I do like an acrylic wool blend for a sweater, but 100% acrylic. I generally use either scrappy projects or baby blankets, / blankets in general. Yeah, so my plan is to just go until it is finished. Looking at what I've got left, I reckon that'll be one more full round of green and then maybe one more full round of blue. But if I only get like 3 repeats of the final blue, then I'll leave it with that. Yeah, I just love the graphicness of this. I've done this pattern many times for baby blankets in different colours, and yeah, I love it. For this one, I'm using a Tulip Atimo hook. It is a size 7, 4mm, and I don't know what the pattern actually calls for. I don't have the pattern printed out because once I get through the very, 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 like maybe this much of the center, I don't need the pattern at all. So I didn't print it out. But I have a feeling the pattern is different. However, the thing with crochet is if you like the fabric you're getting, you can change it to any type, particularly for a blanket. You're not trying to hit gauge. But also if you want to do fingering, you can just use a smaller crochet hook and knit more. For crochet and blankets, I just find it so simple. I know it's the same concept as knitting, but I just find it I don't know, maybe for this one as well, because it's a centre out, you don't have to kind of adjust how many stitches you're doing or anything. You literally just knit the same thing, but more rows to make it bigger. And so again, I don't know how many rows the actual pattern says to do. I'm going to crochet until I run out of yarn, and that'll be a fine sized blanket. I probably won't have that one to show you next episode. I expect it will be finished, but if it is finished, I will put it up in the shop for sale, because I don't know anyone who's expecting a baby right now. But I will try and take a photo before I do that so you can see the finished blanket. Okay, the final whip that I have to show you is my spin. So let me just show you. My drop spindle is empty because I finished the first part of my spin, and in a super elegant style I wound it onto a toilet roll. Now, it does not look like much. It kind of just looks like a little bit of flax. It's not entirely consistent. Some bits would be like a fingering weight as it stands. Some bits would be a very, very, very fine lace weight. I don't care. I'm doing this hopefully to make the Weekender by Dre Renee Knits. She's doing a spin it to knit it that went, I think, from last July to this June. I'm not going to have this finished by then. I'm doing it on drop spindle. And this is 1/6 of this yarn, and I have 3 yarns that I'm planning to put together into a 3-ply. So I don't like my chances. However, I am currently debating whether I do all of this colour first and then I move on to the next colour, or whether I do this much of each colour and then at the end like ply it and see what kind of yarn I'm actually working with, because I know that that'll make a big difference to how much I actually need, and I don't want to spin all of it if I don't need to spin all of it. There's a whole lot of technical things like grist and stuff that I don't fully understand that I should test before I spin all of it, do a test swatch before I spin all of it. But at the moment, really, I'm like, if I keep spinning this now, then I'll have more consistent yarn, where if I stop spinning this and start spinning the other ones, it's more fun. I don't know, what do you think I should do? I mean, I started with the most boring colour because I knew that I would find it boring. I've got this one, I've got a turquoise, and then I've got a variegated that's different shades of blues and a little bit of browns. And my plan is for like quite a low volume bluish sweater. Yeah, I don't know. I'm really tempted to just do the other 2 plies. But I also know this is silk alpaca. Another one is wool alpaca, and another one is something different again with alpaca, or a different type of wool with alpaca. And so it's just when you're spinning different types, you need different amounts of twist, different things, and it's a combo spin. I'm going to put them all together. I really should do a bit of each one and figure out what it's going to do. So here is my very unphotogenic toilet roll, toilet rolls beige spin. Woohoo! Yeah. I really hope I like this yarn. I really should do it. The other thing that's stopping me is my colour, variegated colour one. I only have one skein of it with me. I got 2 different variegated colours. One is still with my sister and she's going to send it to me soon. But I know that if I use what I've got, then I won't have kind of a consistent all over. There will be bits that are definitely different within the sweater. Although, I'm used to alternating skeins when I'm doing hand dyed. This is hand spun. And I'm not trying to do like a fade or anything, gradient. So maybe I should do that. Maybe I should do 3 in one and 3 in the other, and then just alternate skeins. That's not a bad idea. I was trying to figure out how to do the colour. Alright, we're going to put this away now and move on. But I just wanted to show you that, and I will show you this because I've got it here, but I don't think I've showed you. Plying disaster. I was trying to ply from a centre pull ball, but I hadn't wound it very well. And so you can see it is way overspun in here anyway. All sorts of twirly jiggy things. The actual yarn in the end isn't too bad if you look at that as yarn. Anyway, it didn't work very well. So I really should throw it out, but I just wanted to show you what can go wrong with plying from a centre pull ball, which is why I'm now exclusively winding onto something else before plying, because that means it's not going to get caught on itself in the same way that a centre pull ball, the inside can come out all wound up and mess it up. So I can throw this out now. Like, it is definitely yarn and not rope. You're not going to be able to see that very well. But yeah, anyway, fun times. I need to get something on my drop spindle. And that is all my whips. I do have one thing that I've received since last time, and that is some yarn. It is Lane Yarns Jawohl, I'm not sure. Jawohl, I'm going to assume because it's German. Jawohl. It is a 75 wool, 25 nylon, 50 grams to 210 meters, and I thought it was a fingering 4-ply, but I thought someone the other day called it a 3-ply. So I'm not actually sure. I would say probably a light fingering, but I don't know. You can look it up if you care. I'm going to use it. I'm going to treat it like a 4-ply and use it for socks. This was Happy Maker. So I didn't buy it. I was having a bad week or a bad day, and my husband was like, you need something to cheer you up. And he gave me this, and it did cheer me up. And I'm hoping that over the next few bad days, when I get more, I will have colours that I can put together to make a colourwork sock. I won't be doing that over the next month, but keep an eye out during summer sock camp, which will be coming in June, July, August, I think summer sock camp is. Oh yeah. Also, it has a picture here. There's reinforcement yarn inside, and so I don't know whether that's like a yarn you meant to hold double when you're doing like toes and heels maybe. I don't know. If anyone knows what reinforcement yarn is that comes with yarn, I'm very interested. Please let me know. May just be for sewing things up. I don't know. Alright, that is, I think, all of my stuff. I've told you about my dyeing. I've told you about my new yarn. I've told you about what I've done, what I'm working on. I'm going to talk a little bit about life stuff now. So if you're just here for the yarn, thanks for coming, and I'll see you next week. Make sure you subscribe if you want to see more of my videos. And also go check out my travel planning project video, which will be linked below. I'm just going to make sure that I link it. It'll be linked below because I do have a trip coming up and a lot of yarn and a lot of projects that I'm planning to take with. Alright, have a great day! Alright, for all of the rest of you who want to hear a bit about life stuff, what is going on? It is snowing. It is snowing like proper snow, like trees are bending over, and there's probably like 3 or 4 inches accumulated on the ground. It's nuts. It's April. We had a couple of days where the kids were outside playing with water. We had days where I could go outside in short sleeve top, or at least like a very light long sleeve top, and enjoy the weather. And now it's full on snowing winter again. I just don't know what to do with it. I'm really glad I hadn't put away all our winter stuff. My husband kept thinking of, I can just put the plants in the garden, can't I? Apparently not. I don't know what's going on. But it is lovely. And I don't have to go out again today, so I'm going to sit here and enjoy the view of the snow. I am going away for a while, and so the next podcast will be sometime in May when I get back. But the next few days are going to be very busy with that. And with Easter, it is currently Thursday, which means Easter starts tomorrow, which means tonight I get to make hot cross buns. Growing up, my dad always made hot cross buns, and I like the shop bought hot cross buns, don't get me wrong, but the homemade ones are so dense and fruit rich and delicious. And so I'm going to make some of them tonight. I'm hopefully going to make 2 batches, and that will be enough for us to eat, to maybe freeze some and to give some to some friends, because hot cross buns are not a thing in Poland. So I'm really, really grateful that I grew up having homemade ones and knowing how to make them and learning how to make them, so that now that I can't buy them, I can still eat hot cross buns. So that's going to be very exciting. I have an old family recipe, so nothing that I can link below, unfortunately, but I am very excited to do that. What else is happening? So that means tomorrow morning, we will get up in the morning and have hot cross buns. Now, a strange thing about Poland, and by strange I mean unusual to me, is that Friday is not a public holiday here. Friday is a normal work day. They go to work on Good Friday, which just I find bizarre. Yeah. So anyway, tomorrow we'll get up and have hot cross buns in the morning. I'll send my son to preschool, and then in the evening our church is having a service. So I'm used to having a service in the morning on Good Friday. This year it'll be an evening one, and it will be just an evening of singing, reading the Bible. Really looking forward to that. And I've been asked to read the Bible in Polish, so I need to practice that. Yeah, I need to practice. So that'll be fun. And then Saturday I have some Easter related activities for the kids, some painting, maybe some egg dyeing, some different things. And then Sunday we will have church in the morning and we'll give them eggs. And then Monday, I don't know if this is going to work, but apparently Monday is Wet Monday in Poland, and that means everyone gets water guns and squirts each other. I think it's meant to be with white shirts, but we might avoid the white shirt part of it. But yeah, so I got water guns for us and the kids, and we're going to hopefully have a water fight on Monday. But I'm looking at this snow out the window and I'm not sure how that's going to work. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So I also have a lot of washing to fold today. It's all washed, it's all dried. I just need to fold it. 2 out of 3 bags are already packed for our trips, and they are on their way. We're catching a train, and so we have friends who are driving who have offered to take our luggage. So one of them is leaving today, and our stuff is already on the way with them. The other one is leaving on Sunday. So we've got 2 days to pack the rest of our stuff that we don't need for the last couple of days at home. And then we will take just our overnight stuff with us on the train on the way down and meet up with some friends on the way down. I'm so excited. It's going to be a great work conference and then a great holiday on the other side. What else has happened? I won't talk about projects that I'm planning to do. Go check out the planning video for that. But I can say I think I'm planning to take 10 projects for 3 weeks, which seems a little ambitious when I say it like that. I'm definitely not going to finish 10 projects, but the 10 projects in 3 weeks is I expect to finish 5 or 6 of them and then maybe come home with 3, 4, maybe 5. I don't know. Go have a look at the video and see if you think that I'm ridiculous or not. What else? It's because it's Easter, the shops are actually shut on Sunday, from Saturday from 2 p.m, all day Sunday, all day Monday. Shops, restaurants, like proper shut. And so I did a bit of a shop today to make sure that we'd have food that we need, but it's really hard because we're planning to leave on Tuesday, so we didn't want a whole bunch of extra food. And so I think over the next couple of days we're probably just going to be eating really interesting meals. You know how it is when you're about to go on holidays and you're just trying to use up what you've got? I think that's going to be us. I'm kind of looking forward to it. And I'm looking forward to 3 weeks of not cooking. Woohoo! There was something else I was thinking of. I can't think of it right now. Oh, last episode. Had a couple of people reach out and ask if I was okay, because last episode I was like, I just need something safe and cozy. I'm fine. It's okay. There's been a lot of mental weight going on at the moment. I was encouraged. When you move overseas, live in a culture that's not your own, function in a language that's not your own, all these things just add stress. When you do all of that and then you're also caring for other people, that adds stress. And so there are all these different things about this is how much stress that people can live under, like, on a regular basis. And this is how much stress, like, is too much stress. And it's like, this is kind of a regular basis stress. This is like too much, like really, really bad things happened. And this is like where I'm at when you add all of those things up together. They're like stress levels of different events and things. And so some days I'm just, oh boy, overwhelmed by it. It's fine. I'm fine. I have good friends, a great husband, good support networks. But I just really wanted to share some real life with you because, I mean, today's a good day, but not every day is a good day. But I also like sharing my crafting with you. And sometimes, like last time, it wasn't a great day, but it was a better day than I'd had for a while. And I really wanted to be able to share with you what I'd been doing and not leave you guys hanging for maybe a month while I figured things out. So it is getting better. We had a meeting with my son's preschool, which was really encouraging. A lot of the things that I was concerned about have been confirmed, but that's good because it means that I'm not wondering. I now know, and we can think about things to do to actually help him flourish there or look at options for him going somewhere else. And so with the teachers at the preschool, we've kind of come up with a couple of different options. Let's try this. If this doesn't work, let's try that. If that doesn't work, let's try this. If that doesn't work, let's try this. So I've got a plan. It's going to take some time to implement it all, and we won't be doing most of it, if any of it, until we get home from holidays, because tomorrow's his last day because of all the holidays that are happening over the next week. Yeah, so it's positive. We're moving forward. The meeting with the preschool was at least 50%, but really mostly in Polish. They told us some things at the beginning in English. They had a list of things that we needed to talk about that was Polish and English side by side, which was really, really lovely of them. But then when we started asking questions in Polish, and so they answered in kind. And yeah, it was really positive. My husband and I both understood the gist of most of what was being said. Missed a few words, but that's how it works. So yeah, even that was really encouraging that we were able to have that kind of conversation in Polish. Our language is getting better. I don't know if I've mentioned here, but we've both kind of stepped up to the next level of Polish as well. So we've finished A0 and A1. We're still doing a slight bit of grammar from A2, but most of our lessons now are B1, which is the next level. Very exciting. Yeah, so there's a lot of things to be grateful for, a lot of graces, yeah. And today I got to the shops an hour before most of them opened, but the grocery shop and post office are open. Did all my shopping, came home in time for my daughter to sleep and for me to record a podcast before I go on holidays and work conference. Yeah, so everything is doing okay. Yeah, someone asked me how I was doing the other day. I said, it depends on when you ask me, because in a day I can still go up and down, and depending on PMS, depending on what's happened that day, how much downtime I've had. But generally, I'm doing better. And this is a good day. And the snow is lovely. And I'm totally okay with it snowing today. Because like I said, I don't have to go out again. So for the rest of the day, I have some more packing things to do. I'm probably going to just sit and knit for a little bit before my daughter wakes up because I haven't really had time to do that. I've been going to bed early because I've been so exhausted. So my morning knitting has largely been the only knitting I've gotten over the past few days. I'm going to book a hotel because we have one night in Krakow before we go on our holiday that currently we don't have a place to sleep. Yeah, I have a list of things. We got matching chicken shoes for the conference because it's a work conference. I have colleagues that are going from this area that are also good friends. And we found some Polish style folk. I don't have anything that's like a folk style within reach. But a folk Polish style shoe that has roosters on it. And oh, they're hilarious. And they were all of our least favourite style, but we decided they were the only ones that they were the only style that most of us would fit into because all the ones we liked better were out of stock in our size. And so we decided to get matching rooster shoes because we could. So one of my friends will be hopefully dropping that off this afternoon, and if she comes late enough and has her children, I'm sure our children will all have a fun play. I'm really hoping she comes after Zach is home from preschool because her kids are my kids' best friends, and he would be gutted to know that he missed out on a visit from his friends. Yeah, that's about it. I can't think of anything else. I don't have the rooster shoes actually. I will try and get a picture of the rooster shoes. Because they are pretty funny. But I have to say the laces are yellow. Here we go, I'll put it here. The laces are yellow, but I've ordered some turquoise blue laces to put on them instead. Yeah. Alright. Now I'm going to go. I will talk to you sometime in May.